I gotta. The thing, the. Look at him. There he goes. Fucking, he's gonna smash his body into the window. Probably knocked up.
I love that your Christmas tree is already up and like
Okay.
decorated.
So's mine.
My Thanksgiving, babes.
Oh, we haven't even thought about it yet.
Okay, we are live in 3, 2, 1.
Weekend?
Go, Steve.
Parents' Christmas tree.
Hmm.
And they're coming.
Are we done with all this talking in the background now? Sorry, Megan.
I can't.
Welcome. God damn it.
I'm sorry. Go.
Welcome to the next episode in our trio for Bethesda games. I fucked that up. Hold on, let me restart. Welcome to the
why don't you
three-episode
introduce?
podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Introduce the podcast first.
I'm working on it. Welcome to the three-episode.
It's a real shame we went live.
This is all staying in the recording.
Oh
Oh,
god.
I know it is.
This is what a week off. Oh, completely to shit.
This is why sponsors don't want to sponsor us.
That's not true. Sponsored by Real Big Dicks. Anywho.
PJ's brand condoms.
I hate you all.
There we go. Welcome to the three-episode podcast. I am your bailiff in charge, Mr. Stone today. No relations. Anywho. Sorry about our break last week. The majority of our family went to go pick up Travis, who is not here.
Not even on this episode. Get to the introduction, Steve.
Hey, I invited him. He has not responded, so he must be doing something juicy.
Get to the introduction, Steve.
Juicy.
All right. Because he wants to be introduced so quick and badly, we have John.
I just want to hear about why this game is better than the other two. And I'm drinking a beer because I'm tame tonight.
Yeah. I haven't banged
I
my
don't know. You're not being so tame right now.
I'm being very tame. I'm just trying to get us to move along.
What a spicy boy.
Seriously. We have the Doom lawyer, Ryan.
Did you just call me John?
I did.
Yeah,
I was
seriously,
looking at,
don't
John.
chastise me like
Disadvantage
that.
on your next roll.
This is going so well.
D&D.
I mean,
I'm okay with
let's save
this.
the worst for last. What can we say?
We have the reigning champ at the moment, the Dishonored defense.
Hello. This is a
And
mess.
Are you surprised?
Yeah, because the last 2 episodes you were doing fine. You decided to fuck up on my episode. Thanks, Steve.
It's fine. I haven't banged my gavel yet. Everything's fine.
True. And then we have the Holly Jolly Judge Areno.
Holly Jolly Judge Areno. Hello, good evening, everyone. I'd like everyone to know that it's my birthday month, and I'm going to be annoying about it.
Please
That's-
don't.
That sounds
One
like
of
somebody
those
else we
people.
once knew.
Nice.
Very good.
You guys didn't even
So-
wish me a happy birthday. We recorded like the week of my birthday, dicks.
I did.
Privately.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
I
did too,
called
John.
you.
So.
Yeah, you didn't do it on the air though.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I can go back and find it.
Okay, I see now.
Should we sing now?
Oh.
Right
No,
now?
it's
when
too
is
late.
your actual
No.
birthday, Val?
Just like Justin Timberlake, it's too late to apologize.
Val, when is
Fucking
your
God.
birthday?
Just like Justin Timberlake, Cry Me a River.
I will. My last name has the first 3 letters of Riv, so we're good.
Cry Me a Riv. Oh, I love it. Hey, John, what are you drinking today?
Just drinking a beer.
You're not even going to tell me about
What
it?
kind?
So, I've been trying to come up with a theme for everything, and since with Fallout, I went with a spicy Cazador. With Ryan's, I forgot what I think I just made the Doom guy or
Yeah.
For Justin's, because this is basically a game about a warrior assassin monk, I'm just drinking in Old Monk Super Beer.
Ooh.
It's an 8% lager from India. It's really tasty. And it's a big ass bottle. So let's see where this shit show takes us.
Oh, I like that.
And then, of course, thanks to my good buddy John, I've got this delicious Spiritus Alibi mixture age 6 months in oak, and oh god, I'm getting out of it. I'm running low, he says with half the bottle remaining.
Alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic. I know when to stop, and I don't drive.
Oh, he's
Right.
I love that I get introduced to all these new alcohol things from you, John.
Yeah, speaking of which, you should ask my old boss to try this, because I'm pretty sure he's got at least one.
Oh, I saw him this weekend.
I know.
He's a good dude. Okay,
Hey.
well, today I'll be hearing the Dishonored defense. Is everyone ready for court to be in session? I can slam my gavel.
Yep.
All right, we're in session. I'm gonna break the table at some
You're
point.
gonna break that table.
I'm gonna break that table. That's all right.
Okay.
You should get yourself like a fucking coaster and then just bang the coaster.
Oh, my coaster's gonna break. It's a marble coaster.
Then you need to get yourself like a wooden coaster, or go get a cutting board and just bang on the cutting board.
Get
It's
a
a
wooden coaster.
It'll snap right there. Justin looks so frustrated.
Get a
Hi,
wooden coaster.
Here's the thing: we are telling you all these great things to do during his episode. I'm gonna be quiet now.
All right, yeah, okay. All right, so Justin, take it away, my dude.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the setting. So Dishonored is set in a city called Dunwall. It is the city's design, just the aesthetic of the game is think London or Edinburgh around the 1800s. So very like smoky and dirty and like I don't want to call it gothic, but you know, like that dark appeal of like 1800, you know, so everywhere, that kind of thing. That's where it's set. The main character's name is Corvo. So I'm going to do my first screen share. The main character's name is Corvo. And basically how the game starts is you have been off on a mission for the Queen. You're like the Queen's main bodyguard, and you go off onto a mission. At that time, the city is going through like this kind of like a plague kind of thing, and you are off on a mission to try and like find some kind of solution for it. The game starts, at least the cinematic in the beginning of the game starts, and you're coming back to the island from this mission. You go all the way to walk up to the Queen. She's on top of like this tower thing, and you deliver your report, and all of a sudden you see people, these like masked figures over on a rooftop next to you, and they all of a sudden disappear. They teleport, and they teleport next to you, and they kill the Queen. And they take the daughter. They take her daughter, Emily. Her daughter's name is Emily. They take the daughter, and they disappear. Kill it, you know, so the Queen is dead and the daughter's gone. That's how the game starts. And they take over power, and because you were the only one that was there, her death is blamed on you. They basically say that you killed the Queen, you came back, and then you killed the Queen. So the main part of the gameplay starts with you in prison, which I think is pretty fucking cool. So you start in prison, and you need to sneaky break out of prison. That's the first main mission, is to break out of prison. Yeah, so these assassins kill the Queen. You're in prison. You're blamed for death. You need to break out of prison, and after you break out, you travel. You meet this guy that helped you break out of prison, and you basically were helped break out of prison by the rebels, because the people that killed your Queen took power. That was the whole reason, you know, that old chestnut. They killed the Queen in order to take power and kind of like think like Nazi rule kind of thing. This is the guy that in the boat that you're on, just so you can get a nice view of like what like the city looks like, kind of like what the main aesthetic of the game is. Like I said, it's very like that 1800s London, but there's electrical power, so it's kind of like steampunk. You can, I guess, call it steampunk. It's not steam power. They have like this weird electrical, like magic electrical power that they use, which I don't think has ever really gone into explanation of how it works, but that's not really important to the game, so it doesn't really matter. So you were rescued by these people. You're brought to the main base of the rebels, and they basically tell you they know that you didn't kill the queen, and they're on your side to help you like clear your name and take back power. And this is the group of people that you get your missions from, because you're kind of aligned with them to, you know, go after these people in charge and do certain things to eventually get, you know, the power back to the rightful people and save Emily, because Emily is still kidnapped. So yeah, so this is your main people for the game. Yep.
What are they called again?
I don't think they have a specific name. They're just rebels. I don't remember if they have an actual specific name. I don't think they do.
Okay, they're just like a rebel faction.
Yeah, kind of. It's like people that were like loyal to her. Like there's a couple people that you recognize when you go up to there. Yeah, I didn't grab any specific names because I never actually cared. But as far as the lore is concerned, it's really not that important. So you spend the night there. That's the first part of the story. And in the middle of the night, you're brought into this dream sequence. And the dream sequences happen a couple times whenever you need to be contacted by this entity called the Outsider. This is what the dream sequence looks like. It's kind of like these story pieces that are suspended in this white fog that you have to kind of like parkour over to get to the end.
Like minimalist performance art piece.
Yeah,
Like-
so all of these are all frozen, but they're all supposed to represent like snapshots in time of like things that are happening that you don't want to happen. So this happens, and you are and you were brought in front of, or you arrive in front of the Outsider.
The outside.
Yes, the Outsider. So the Outsider is never explained what he is. He's kind of like a deity or some kind of like god or powerful being or something like that.
Objection.
That's his. Yeah.
He's given an entire backstory that ruins his mysticism in the second game.
All right.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I did. Okay. So you can ruin it. Like I said, most of my main arguments are going to come from this game. The second game I know does a little bit of story ruining, but you know, I guess in my defense, I wasn't trying to really go into detail of the second game.
Everything about the first game is undone with the second game. That is what I will tell you.
Okay.
Yes, it's
We'll get-
yeah. Well, whatever. It's yeah.
We'll come to that when we come to it.
Yeah. We'll
So
do
the whole second game is going to be used as an argument against the first game, which I don't think is totally fair, but it's whatever.
I mean, you guys tried to use 3 of my games against the one good game, so
yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's whatever. if that's what you want to use as an argument, that's fine. So as far as the first game's concerned, this is the Outsider. He's some kind of like deity or something like that. And what he does is he basically says like, "Oh, isn't your plight horrible?" Like, you know, he talks in like riddles and stuff like that. A lot of his dialogue is really cool to listen to. He has this weird like breathy voice that I don't know sounds really mystic. It's interesting to listen to. A lot of the dialogue in the game I really like. But he basically says like, "Hey, your plight is horrible. Like, you've gotten the shit out of the stick here. I want to help you succeed. I want to help you like get, you know, your name clear. So I'm going to give you some powers." And the way he does that is he gives you this nice little tattoo on the back of your hand. And it's the basis for all of your powers that are given to you. And there's a good amount of them. I have a couple. I have the list of them here. But you are given, so aside, your main weapons are a sword, a pistol, a crossbow, which has a bunch of different bolts, and then the powers that the Outsider gives you. So that is your main arsenal, and that's how the game starts. Because after the Outsider, like the breakout of prison thing is technically like the first mission you go on is the first time you like kill people and stuff. But your first mission starts after the Outsider, after this dream sequence the next day. You're given the mask and everything, which you can see a little better in that picture. But the mask he's wearing, this mechanic dude that is part of the Rebels he makes for you. It has like zoom lenses and stuff like that in it, like built into it, which is really cool. And I don't have a picture of the sword. I think you could see it. You're able to see it on his side. Oh, here's the sword. Okay, so that's the crossbow and the sword. And the sword's like this little short sword thing. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
What are-
that, yep,
Where's
go
the-
ahead.
What are some of the powers that you get from?
So
Good.
I was about to go into that. So I have the power wheel, which is right here. Okay, so this is the power wheel. This is how you choose. You can have one power assigned at a time as far as like what you can use. I think it's one, or there's a certain amount of buttons that you have to actually like switch between which powers you have active. So you have dark vision, which allows you to see enemies through solid matter. You have blink, which is my favorite to use because it's a really awesome assassination power, and it's the teleportation thing that those bad guys use in the beginning. And how the blink works. So this is when they're showing you the blink. This is like the little instructional thing. You like put your hand, the hand that has the tattoo, forward, and you use this targeting thing. There's a picture of that, but use this targeting thing to basically tell it where you want to go. And then when you release the trigger, you just show up there. And one of the really cool things you can do is if you put it behind a bad guy, you can blink right behind them and then immediately like kill them from behind. And you can also use it to climb by blinking, by aiming it at a ledge. And if you aim it at a ledge, it'll hit the ledge and it'll allow you to climb up onto the ledge. So it's a really useful power. There's a possession power, which allows you to physically possess animals and manipulate them. And then when you upgrade that, you can physically possess bad guys and use bad guys to kill other bad guys. You can bend time. That's one of the abilities, stopping time. Devouring Swarm is a really cool one. I have that as a video. Well, at least part of it as a video. So see the little swarm of rats underneath him? So
Yep.
You basically summon this swarm of rats that goes after bad guys.
Oh, this is like what I used to do when I would hang out in Austin.
Oh,
Just summon the rats.
you a dick, Brighton.
I used to live in Brighton. There were less rats and more puke on the ground.
And way more hipsters.
Yep.
So yeah, that's Devouring Swarm. It brings up these rats that like kill things. And the last active power that you have is called Wind Blast, which is basically like kind of like the force, I guess. Like you put your hand out and you can like push people away. So it's good like when multiple enemies are coming at you at once, you can like wind blast one of them, so you can take care of one of them and then take care of the other one. It's kind of useful, when you learn how to use it and stuff. So yeah, so those are the powers. The way that you get those powers in game is you find, I don't think I have a picture of that up right now. But there's these little, because one of the things in the game is the way the things are powered. Oh yeah, that's right. The way the things are powered is with magical whale oil.
Oh, very.
That's where the magic. So the whale oil is basically like this glowing blue, and when you put it into a machine, like it powers up the machine. You could also do it the opposite way if you're like trying to turn off lights, because the main thing about the game is stealth. So if you're trying to turn off lights or turn off an alarm, if you can find its power source, you can pull the whale oil container out and it'll turn off. So that's cool.
Is whale oil the way that things are powered in this universe?
Yes.
So like instead of electricity, they have this whale oil that the universe is based on?
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
Yes,
it's the power source. So this is what it looks like. It's a whale oil container. It's like a glowing blue container that powers everything.
It's what's powering my Christmas tree right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this game is full of like really cool ideas as like that. But what I have up on the screen right now is made of whale bones, and it's called a ruin, and it's like this magical thing you find. And whenever you find one, it unlocks either one of your main powers or an upgrade to one of your main powers. So you choose whether you want to upgrade a power or unlock another power. So you have to find these runes throughout the game. So there's things you have to find. Well, I guess you don't have to find them because you can just have one power if you really want to, but there's things you have to find and some things you can find. So these are runes. These unlock your main powers, and then there's bone charms, which look like those like D-Day like anti-tank like steel like pieces that are put together in like a little like, you know what I'm talking about, like the metal structures that are put together. It looks like that, but in bone. Here, I can. Yeah, it looks like that in bone. And what those do is they unlock other upgrades. They unlock the upgrades to the upgrades, like the wind blast. Like if you it helps you unlock things that like it makes your powers better instead of just main upgrades to the power. But this is what they look like. I was trying to think of the like D-Day, like the things that are on like sticks, like metal sticks that are like soldered or not soldered.
You're talking about the things that look like jacks.
Yes, jacks. That's the word I was looking for, is jacks. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I was looking for jacks. Yeah. So those are the powers. So a couple things on the game mechanics. So like I said, it's very stealth oriented. And one of my favorite parts of the game is they have this thing called the Chaos Engine, which interacts with the ending of the game, and it also interacts with your surroundings. So the more destructive and the more murder hobo, the more murderous you are, the worse that the world around you gets, and it makes a different ending. So the game has different endings. It doesn't just have one ending. And it all depends on how killy, like how destructive you are. So how many people you kill versus how many people you just like knock out. And it also
endings.
I think there's only the two. There's if you're chaotic or if there's three.
Yep.
Because I've only done the two.
And that's if you're like chaotic or a little bit chaotic or not at all.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've only tried for the two different sides of the spectrum. I've gone through the entire game and killed every single person that I've laid eyes on, and I've also gone through the game and killed not a single person. So the second one, the first one is much easier. The second one is a lot harder because you have to like, if you accidentally kill someone, you have to like restart and shit. So It's kind of annoying, but yeah, and then it also affects the way around you because one of the plague that they're dealing with is a plague of rats, which is kind of funny that one of your powers is to like summon rats. But you'll just be like walking through the city and the guards will be being attacked by rats without your doing. And there will be certain parts of the city, like underground parts of the city that you go into that you have to get around, like these killer rats that can deal damage to you. And the more chaotic you are, the more rats there are. So the more people you kill, the more rats are around and the more chaotic the city gets.
Interesting.
So it interacts with the game. Like each mission can be slightly different the more chaotic you were the last mission. So
that almost, I mean, depending on how you see it, it could be more beneficial for you to not kill people so that you don't have to deal with rats, or if you don't mind dealing with the rats, you could kill more people to get them out of the way.
Right. So I'm going to show you how fun it is to kill people. This is a little sequence of the blinking. You can see how the blinking works and like how the sword shit works. This is just someone that's very good at like you can get very good at like blinking very fast and killing multiple people at one time if you're fast enough with the controls.
That guy just cut the other dude in half.
Yeah, you can get, like I said, you can get very good. If you start getting good with the controls and you get good at this game, you can kill a bunch of people at one time very fast. You just have to be very good with the targeting system and stuff.
So homies who are not watching, it's just a sequence of someone going through and very, very quickly with like a sword killing people and using, what is it called again? The
Blink.
The little teleportation.
And he just used stop time. So that last thing was stop time. So that was someone going through and using blink and stop time to kill people very fast. And like a very nice, like that was a really nice like row of kills that you did. I've watched people do it before, and that was nice. I like that.
So tell me, are you just the goal is to go after those people who killed the queen and like whoever they associate with?
Yes.
And just
Yeah, you're going after the corrupt government basically.
okay.
There's a bunch of missions where your target, they're like, here's your target, and you have to do certain thing like poison this dude or kill this dude or get information out of this dude. Like you just keep on having, it's really large levels, like levels that you can attack however way you want to. It's not fully open world, but each of the levels is kind of open world. Like you can decide how you want to get to certain places. There's multiple different routes you can use to get to the same place. Which, I mean, again, not fully open world like Fallout would be, but each of the levels inside of themselves are quite large. So it's like open world light.
Tell me, diet open world.
Diet open world. I like that.
Okay, so let me see. I want to ask some of the same questions that I did for the other two. Tell me about like any personalization or like character design that you can do, or like if any.
So there isn't any character design. You are Corvo and he has like his specific things. The most customization you can get into is, like I said, you can go after as many bone charms. It's more customization to the powers that you have and like the things you have unlocked. Because when you get, let's say you hunt for a rune, you can either decide to unlock a new power or upgrade a power. You could technically, if you wanted, because the runes are hidden in certain places. It's not like the runes are part of the missions. The runes are like in the open world areas. So you can go after the runes or not go after them. So you can go through an entire game with just blink if you really want to, or you can spend your time trying to find those runes and unlock everything before continuing with the missions. So that's the most customization. Is more customization to the powers that you use and what you want to unlock, and less to like the character aesthetics, because you just play this one guy because the story is specific to him. In the second game, you can choose to be male or female, because in the second game, there's Corvo and Emily, the daughter, because the second game is set 15 years after the first game. And when the whole beginning sequence happens, you can choose to either play as Corvo or Emily. So there's a little bit of choice there as far as character, but it's just, do you want to play the guy or do you want to play the girl? So.
Okay. Let me see. Tell me about like the feel of the game. Besides like just like the aesthetics of it. Tell me about like the music, or like, I don't know, anything you want to tell me about the aesthetics. You can tell me more about like the visuals if you want.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let me see if I can pull up a more detailed. But it is one of my favorite games I've ever played, and one of the reasons for that is the background, is just how everything is designed. I've always been a huge fan of like that 1800s, I don't know, England kind of feel, and the game really captures that really well. Like you saw through the videos, I don't know, it just looks really nice, and it looks very steampunky because a lot of things are metal and stone, almost everything. Trying to see if I can find an actual. I don't know. It's hard to describe without seeing more of it. But it definitely has that like gritty, ashy, dark feel to it. That if you like that kind of like, I don't know, I guess the best way is like what is the Johnny Depp did it, Demon on Fleet Street.
So you're Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah, okay, so Sweeney Todd-esque.
Yes, Sweeney Todd-esque. I like that.
I mean,
It's
you could just
very
call it
Sweeney
Tim
Todd-esque.
Burton-esque at this point. That's literally the same style in every film.
Yeah, I guess Tim Burton-esque.
I wouldn't say it's Tim Burton because it's not a piece of shit completely.
How fucking dare you?
I mean, he's not entirely wrong, but he's also not 100% right. So we'll give him half credit.
Shots have been fired.
You know that she's the one who decides if you win, right, Ryan?
Yeah, but I'm a fair judge.
Yeah.
The certain comments are just hurt my heart. Just have no standing on my judgment.
We're not debating. We're not debating directors or anything like that. All right. If we were debating,
Not
directors,
yet.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm completely
Dibs
in.
Paul Verhoeven when we do.
Oh,
Stanley goddamn Kubrick, motherfucker.
Anyway.
Yes. See, this is where we agree on things.
See?
Anyways, okay. So, anything else? Anything else anybody wants to say? Anybody got things to add?
Do you have any other questions as far as like the aesthetics and stuff? Because I can go into so the second game uses the same kind of aesthetic. It uses the same chaos engine. Basically that chaos thing where like how much you kill affects the outcome at the end. There's a coup that so in the second game Emily is in power. There's a coup that happens and they break in and start killing everyone. I forget exactly the event. There's some kind of event that she's holding and the people that are doing the coup break in and start killing everyone. And you have a choice of being either Corvo and Emily because one of them gets like turned to stone. So if you choose Corvo, Emily gets turned to stone. If you choose Emily, Corvo gets turned to stone.
May I add for you for a quick moment?
Sure, go ahead. Because
Okay.
I've never played the second one. I've only
So
read like recaps.
the whole premise of the second one, what happens is the event that's going on is the anniversary of Emily's mother's death. Emily is the daughter of the Empress who was killed in the first game.
Okay.
So
Right.
they're holding an event. I forget the exact name of it as well. And that's when you find out through narration of the start of the game that Emily's political rivals, because Emily has risen to the rank of emperor or empress. And you find out that her political rivals are being either assassinated, murdered, death by various means. And
Oh, she's blamed for it. That's what it is.
and she's
That's
getting
right.
blamed for it. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Justin, if you showed the steampunk dudes from the first game in your little slideshow there, but
I had them up somewhere.
another royal guy who just arrives unannounced, and he presents a gift in quotes that for Emily, because it's like, hey, cool, here's a gift. Turns out that these steampunk machines decide to turn on everybody, murder the people that are in there.
I forgot to show these. Sorry, not to interrupt you really quick, but these are
No, you're
from the
fine.
first game. These are sniper mechs, kind of. They walk around in some of the later levels.
That's spooky as shit.
They're hard to deal with. Yeah.
That reminds me of those alien crafts from War of the Worlds, the Tom Cruise version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Mm.
There's the gas mechs, dude.
That's very spooky.
Yeah, it's very yeah.
What do they do?
Interesting. Oh, this is murdering a dude. I forget
they-
what dude it is.
Zap you with lasers and turn you into a baked potato.
No, that's the South Park game.
Well, I like that one. That one. We should do that one next.
Yeah. So yeah, continue, John.
I
Sorry, I
kinda,
didn't mean to
I
interrupt.
kind of really like these guys because it pretty much reminds me of the guys from Half-Life. Half-Life 2, the Striders from Half-Life 2.
Oh yeah,
They look
definitely.
pretty much almost exactly alike, except for like it's not instead of 3 legs, it's 2 legs. But I fucking love this aesthetic, and the gas mask guys kind of look like the guys from Half-Life 2 too, which is great. I feel like the aesthetics of this game are a mashup between like some Half-Life stuff, a lot of Thief stuff, and then just a little bit of magic put in there too.
That's
much
one of the
pretty
reasons.
accurate.
So
Yeah.
one of the reasons I also love this game is like Ryan just mentioned, it has a similar feeling and a similar gameplay to basically the first like PC game we ever played, like the first
Yeah.
major PC game we ever played, which is called Thief 2. And it's still probably one of the top 5 favorite video games for me of all time. And it
Oh,
came
me
out
too.
in like
Yeah.
1995, I think.
Val, to put this into perspective for you, there was a time where I went over to hang out with these two, and me and Ryan really wanted to play Roller Coaster Tycoon 1, the very first one. And Justin had to write a paper on Henry VIII, and he literally wrote one sentence, and his mom would keep coming to the top of the stairs to see how far he'd got. And the first sentence was, Henry the whatever guy was a very not inquisitive character, but like just a really shitty guy. That's the sentence. And he'd alt tab, go over to Thief 2, and that's all he did. me and Ryan watched him play this one game for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Back and forth on mute so that his mom didn't find out. By the way, I'm throwing you on blast right now, but you're like 36 at this point with a child, so nobody cares.
36. Ouch.
You're welcome.
God damn.
And she would come to the bottom of the stairs, look up. Every time he heard footsteps, he would alt tab back over to Microsoft Word. There would only be the one sentence there, and every time he goes, "That's all you've gotten?" Fine. And me and Ryan would just go back to playing like, I don't know, fucking Bass Fisherman or where the fuck it was.
She knew
This is Thief 2, Val. Just to show you the comparison in the aesthetics to that game. Like it was released in 2000, so of course like the graphics are a lot worse.
Ooh, yeah.
But you could feel the same kind of like Thief 2 was also modeled after that 1800s London kind of thing. So
Yep.
And they also had the same electric. They also had electric power the same way. So theirs was steam though. Theirs was steampunk. Theirs was steam powered, and they had steam powered robots in this game too. I'm not going to talk too much about this game because I can go on for hours about this game,
Oh yeah.
and I don't want to pull away from Dishonored. But yeah, Thief 2 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. But definitely top 5, if not top 3. And they ruined it with the most current game that they came out with, but I'm not going to go into that at all either. So
I would definitely say that Thief 2 is definitely in my top 5. It might be probably number 3, I would say.
yeah.
Yeah.
For coming out in 2000, it's one of the best games in my opinion that was ever made, as far as gameplay and storyline, and it was just amazing. So, but yeah, not going to go any further with that. Yeah, so like John said, Dishonored 2, that's how it starts. It has kind of the same kind of storyline, as far as I've read, of like trying to clear your name and stuff like that. And it has the same chaos thing. So the more people you kill, the different the outcome is at the end, whether you save Emily or, because one of the outcomes is if you kill too many people and you decide to save Emily then becomes like a vengeful dictator that like goes on and starts killing people. So yeah, it's interesting. I need to play Dishonored 2. I just don't have the hardware right now to play it. So yeah.
Cool. We ready for the defense?
Yeah. Bring it at me. Again, I'm going to be very weak if you start trying to use arguments for Dishonored 2. So,
well, does anybody else have anything to add in terms of like fleshing out what Dishonored is? Does anybody?
I mean, you've got the bulk of you've got the meat of it there. I think the only thing that we're going to be adding is like a ligament here and there.
Yeah.
I would say that I would say similar to Doom, it is a storyline. It's not like a whole bunch of side quests or anything like that. There's a storyline that you follow the whole time, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a question or not. Yes. There's a storyline you follow. When you go into a mission, like I said, you can decide how you want to do that mission and how long you want to take. There's no timer. There's no anything like that. Like you can decide how you want to attack it. Do you want to kill everyone? Do you not want to kill anyone? Like how you want to get into a building. Is there any other things you want to do while you're in that building? Because there's other things you can discover. There's more ammo you can get. There's there's a lot of things you can do. But yes, there's a main storyline that you're following that every time that you get a mission, it starts a new area. And yeah. Yes, it's a story-driven game. It's not an RPG, so it's not in the same vein as Fallout is different when it comes to these three games, because Fallout is an RPG that was designed to be more open-ended, whereas these games had a certain point. Doom and Dishonored have a certain point. So.
And they have a certain feel to them. They have a certain aesthetic that is brought through the whole thing, and there's a storyline to
Right.
actually be entertained with for hours. It's not reliant. It's a combination of both games are a combination of very good gameplay and a good story at the same time, and a good like setting at the same time. I personally love Doom setting a lot more.
I will say Dishonored, the one thing that Dishonored has over Doom is the replayability. I think Dishonored has a lot more replayability than Doom does. Doom is very straightforward. Like you said, not last week, the week before, there's collectibles and things you can get. But in Dishonored, there's a whole other story ending. There's a whole other feeling to the game you can get by doing things differently. You can get different powers. You can focus on different powers. Like there's different feelings when you go through the game more times. It's not the same replayability that, again, maybe a game like Fallout has, where because it's an RPG, because it's open worlded, it's allowed to do that. But yeah, so there's a more replayability in Dishonored than there is in Doom.
I would say that Doom's replayability is more of like upping the fucking challenge level to it, of like, hey, I want to replay this, but I want to play this at like a higher fucking challenge.
Well, Dishonored, you can do that too. Dishonored has challenge. Yeah. It has different hard modes.
And Fallout 2.
What?
And Fallout 2.
Well,
Fallout's not a hard game.
Fallout is not a hard game.
Because you play on easy. I don't think I've ever seen you play anything of Fallout not at normal or above.
Fallout is not a hard game.
I've tried turning up the difficulty, and pretty much it's only difficult for maybe the first hour and a half of the game. After that, it's not difficult.
See, again, you keep saying
it's a roll of the dice,
but then you don't give any additional. Anyway, let's keep this on Dishonored, because next week is when I'll make all my final arguments.
The difficulties in Dishonored is dependent on how sensitive guards are, how sensitive alarms are, how many guards there are, that kind of stuff. So if you want more of a challenge, like if you wanted to go through a game and not kill anyone, and you wanted it really hard to not kill anyone, you would put it on hard difficulty and then go through and try and knock everyone out. So, there is a really cool, I was trying to find a video of it and I could not find a video of it. One of my favorite things to do when you're trying to get your chaos down is, one of the things that the chaos is based on is how many bodies is found. And one of the things you can try and do to negate that but still kill people is there's a power you unlock called Turn to Ash. And what it does is when you kill someone without them noticing you first, their body turns to ash. It just disappears into ash in your hands. So you'll literally like blink behind someone, stab them in the neck, and then their whole body will disintegrate.
I wish that I had that in real life.
Thank God you don't.
There would be a people that I would do that to.
Yeah. So it's a cool ability. It doesn't, the only way to get the chaos at 0, not at 0, but the only way to get the chaos all the way down is to knock everyone out, or sneak by people and not interact with them at all, as far as that's concerned. That's the only way to get the chaos all the way down. But you can get the chaos more at a neutral level by, if you have to kill someone, by making their body go poof. So, so I don't know, that's cool. It's one of my favorite powers. It's one of my favorite abilities in Dishonored.
I like that. I wish I had that. All right, John, is everybody good?
I'm just double checking something so I don't make myself look like an asshole.
Well,
Too late.
I remember when Dishonored first came out, I used to watch videos on like certain ways that you could kill like enemies, and then they'll make an entire setup where they shoot an arrow, then freeze it for this enemy over here, shoot another arrow straight up in the air, freeze it, and then to this guy, like blink and pull him through like a portal and make him like fall somewhere, but everything plays out at one time. So you see one guy die as you turn, you see both arrows kill the other guy and he falls, and it's just like a masterpiece of using the abilities.
People that have mastered like that video, people that have mastered like the blink and the stop time can literally just go through a building and kill everyone in the building without an alarm actually being sounded, because they know like where they have to go, they know when to stop time, when to blink behind someone. Like it's really cool to see. You can get very, very, very good at those powers, or you can just putt through and just turn around and try and sneak as slowly as possible and get by people. So, like I said, replayability, you can try and play it any way you want to. Oh,
Right.
it's fun.
Did I give you enough time, John?
I mean, I just lost all my video, so you're gonna have to take this with a grain of salt if I've disappeared from you guys.
Nope, we can still see you.
Nope.
Okay, for whatever reason, I can't see my own screen. It just turned black. So,
Okay.
so like I said earlier, is that the second game totally turns around on the first, and I know that you requested politely not to have that be used too hard against you.
Hey,
but
no. You know, if you want to use it against me, that's fine. I totally agree. As far as the story point, you're correct.
Yeah. So my question, and again, you said you didn't really play the second game too much, but with Doom and Fallout, one of the things that I can adequately say, or say with a grain of with total clarity, is if you don't play any of the DLC, you don't lose anything from the main game.
tell me what DLC is.
Downloadable content. Essentially, it's an expansion to the game that already exists. You know, it used to be where you would buy a game for X amount of money and you had a complete game, and then maybe a couple of years down the line, they want to add something to it. They make a less expensive version that you can then buy to just install, add to the game, and then you continue on your story.
So,
Yeah.
so just to give you a little backstory of DLC and where it is now, Val, back in the day, DLC was when the creators of the game came back together and said, hey, this is ideas that we had. Why don't we put this together and then release it for a small amount of money that can be added onto the main game? That's where DLC originally was. It was stuff that they just wanted to add. Nowadays, a lot of times DLC is used as a marketing campaign. They'll turn around and they'll say, here's a game that comes out in a month. Oh yeah, here's also 5 packages of DLC that are going to come out the same time the game does. So it's basically like saying pay $50 for the game and then pay another $15 and you can get this other part of the game that we've already developed that could be part of this game, but we decided not to because it'll make us more money.
My
There's
personal
several different kinds of DLCs.
Yeah, my personal favorite anecdote to it is, if you think about it, think of it like a McDonald's like value meal. The original game would be the hamburger, and then your DLC would be adding fries and a drink. Nowadays, the game is you get maybe a bun, and then you pay $2 for the meat, $2 for the bottom bun, $5 for the French fries, $15 for the soda, and everything else is more money tacked on. That's current DLC.
It's kind of like when you get play I have Cards Against Humanity, and they have all these different expansion packs that you can buy.
Yeah,
But
that's a good way to think about it.
You can play Cards Against Humanity with just the main box.
Yeah.
But you can also play the game with the bigger, blacker box, the gay box, the whatever else box, the cat box. All of those things just add to the game. So that's actually a good example.
Well, that's the other thing. A lot of times when they port games over or when they release games now, they have most of the games don't come in original version. Almost all of the ports from games that are put onto the Switch, they have Ultimate Editions, which are the game and every single piece of DLC that's ever come out with it, and it's all just included in the game, which is really cool. I just picked up the BioShock collection. It was on sale for $20, and
Yep.
it came with
Yeah.
all of the games and all of the games DLCs for $20,
Yeah.
which is pretty fucking good. So,
Yeah,
The-
I was seeing if I had it nearby. I have my Xbox around, and in those I have both Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but I bought the Ultimate Edition that actually has all of the DLCs involved. So they're already, they came
Actually-
with the game. But going back to my point,
Yep.
which is for Dishonored 2 specifically, in order to kind of not be, I guess, fucked by the backstory, or you need to have played all of the DLC from the first game to know what's
the
going to happen.
Knife of Dunwall, I have a list. Knife of Dunwall, something. Crap, where is it? Yeah, there's 3 DLCs for the first game.
Yeah,
Say that again, John. You have to have played the DLC from game 1 to what?
correct. To have a full understanding of what's going on in 2.
When you start 2 off, in order to understand where the story is, 2 can be played as a standalone if you really want to, but in order to really get in depth and understand the storyline.
Yeah. And the reason I bring that up is because within the first roughly hour of gameplay, you meet a character who, if you've played the DLCs from the first game, you already know who she is, why she's a bad guy, why she's going to turn on you. And that's why when Justin just said that, you can play 2 as if you've never played 1. It's true, because you'll never see it coming. But people who have played the first game to its entirety already know that she's a bitch and she's going to turn on you.
Right. I think she was in the Witches one, because there's Dunwall City Trials, the Knife of Dunwall, and
She
Bring More
was-
Witches.
So
The Knife of Dunwall is when you play as the assassin that killed the
that's
queen.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you know, because it comes from her perspective, killing the Empress.
Right. Okay.
So-
yeah.
So my comment is, if to know the story, you have to pay everything or play all of the above to have a complete game, then you didn't buy a complete game. Whereas with Doom or Fallout, any DLCs that existed or have come out did not alter the story in any game-breaking way. You have the baseline. It's just additional quests per se.
Well, the first Doom doesn't have any DLC. Well, not any DLC that affects the actual storyline of the
That's
main
what I'm
game.
saying.
There's some DLC that is for the multiplayer. The multiplayer arena fighting in the first Doom. I didn't bring that up in the episode because I didn't think that was like something that was actually something to be talked about.
We didn't really talk about DLC as a whole, so
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean the multiplayer that is in the first Doom, because it's basically dead at this point. The first Doom's multiplayer servers, but the new Doom has multiplayer also. But I'm not talking about that. They started a DLC. They started a new DLC, which is continuation of the storyline only for Doom Eternal, and it's a fucking badass storyline. By the way, it's fucking amazing, but whatever. That's not the point. But yeah, it has DLC also to continue the storyline. First Doom, you don't need any DLC. It's just the game in and of itself. See, another thing that games are doing nowadays that's more for especially the AAA games is they'll give you a season pass. And the season pass basically means you get all the DLC that they release. But the problem is that DLC, so you bought the $60 game, right? Well, the season pass costs another $50 on top of that.
and it's not a discount.
And it's not a discount. That's so
You're just
paying
pre-buying whatever DLC they put out.
Yeah. So you're paying $110 to buy all the DLC when it comes out for the game, but there could be multiple seasons in that game. So you have to buy the season pass for every single season also. So a season is usually a year. So the release year will have a season pass. And basically it gives the creators the right to just go, oh, yeah, that DLC that you paid $50 for, oh, that was just basically reskinned weapons for the whole thing with maybe
Yep.
some
That's all
maps
Call of Duty ever
that
is each year.
Yeah, exactly. maybe some
Yeah.
maps that really should have been free. But Bethesda doesn't really do that. I don't think any of these games are really doing that, except for Fallout 76 did that.
Well, yeah, but all that was optional anyway.
But yeah,
Well,
and
there's
I-
sometimes that DLC is free and it's content that like the game that comes out on Thursday that I've already saved the money for and I'm waiting patiently to come out, but not so patiently. Immortal Phoenix Rising comes out on Thursday, and they already have a planned DLC that's going to come out in a couple months because Immortal Phoenix Rising is all Greek mythology, and it's going to be a whole new storyline that's Chinese mythology. So
Sounds cool.
yeah,
Cyberpunk
can't
comes
wait.
out. Cyberpunk maybe will come out in 2 weeks.
yeah, we're
Cyberpunk
not
comes
gonna
out
do
in
that
2
this
years.
year.
Cyberpunk comes out in 2 years. Did you see the tweet from the creators of Cyberpunk?
We just really wanted to hang out with.
We just wanted to hang out with Keanu
Reeves.
Reeves. There is no game. We just wanted to hang out with Keanu Reeves.
I mean, same though. I know well.
Do you blame them?
No.
Oh
Okay.
God.
I will say, apart from Fallout, I think Dishonored was the only one that got a board game as well.
I think so.
Doom
Yeah.
has a board game.
Does it?
Yes, it does. Doom has a board game.
So
And I
wait,
believe there's actually an internal version of it now too. Doom has a board game.
so all three of these games have board games?
Fallout has at least 2. I know that much.
I know Doom has at least 1. I'm not sure if there's 2. I know there's definitely 1 because I've seen it on a shelf at my favorite board game place, Hogwarts Games.
I can imagine someone who plays a video game will then want to spend the money to like dumb down playing a game about what they already enjoy, but
No,
the
that's
version.
no. It's no. The board games make it. You do, because board games. Anybody that likes board games, if they like video games, they'll want to play both. Because
That's true.
it takes your favorite, it takes that video game and then puts it in a different perspective. It's not like dumbing down. You're not playing the video game. You're playing a board game translation. It's more like a translation, like trying to think a better way to equate that. But it's more it's a different way of looking at it. But it's
It
Not
a different
dumbing
DLC.
It
down.
also gives them an option to like maybe they don't like an RPG, but they want to play a strategy game.
right.
You know, maybe they
Right.
don't like to watch Star Wars, but they like giant fleet battles. I.e., my
That's
recommendation
not
2
a
weeks ago.
board game.
Hear me out. It's 2 weeks ago, and there's like 6 different Star Wars board games, so I can still talk about this.
Well, yeah.
I mean, maybe they don't want to watch. Maybe they don't like to play a shooter type game, but they want to paint the miniatures for that type of thing. Like, there's all these things that all make sense for that fan, and it just continues. For example, I have no reason to want to collect these bobbleheads. Well, this one's not a bobblehead, but one of these Vault Boys. But I still do. I'm happy when I see one and I grab it.
Yeah. Well, it's all just what side of like nerd culture hobbies you're into, and
Yeah.
everybody's like, I would be someone who would like to paint miniatures, so I think that would be something. I just didn't. I
But
didn't
that has
think that.
nothing to do with the games.
It could
No.
though.
No, but I think something to be said for like that. All three of the Bethesda games have enough like popularity that
You
there's
mean like side properties for them? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it because it wasn't, we didn't
I mean,
talk about it, but
not
there's an Elder Scrolls Skyrim tabletop board game.
Yep.
That it's all about the Civil War side quest series from that one game.
The Dishonored board game that came out this summer is a role playing game, kind of like D&D-esque, using the 2D20 system.
Mhm.
So that's interesting. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that.
I like that. That's something that I would get my hands on as well.
Yeah. So
all
that's
right.
more of introducing the like customization thing, because you can like
Yeah.
make your own assassin and do your
Well-
own shit.
To bring it back to my point, I'm sorry we got so sidetracked.
Good.
And here is my point, and I'm just going to say it bluntly, and so forgive me, this comes across crass. If I have to buy the additional DLC and then play them, that's not a complete game initially. I'm not saying I wouldn't buy them, or I wouldn't want to play them at some point, but if to get the full story, I absolutely have to buy them and have to play them, then it kind of takes away from the main story anyway, as if like they didn't know exactly how they wanted to end it. And the big point that I want to make with that is, like I said, is if you start the second game where they totally neuter Corvo as a cool character who went from a mute protagonist who, you are him, to then they give him a voice, it takes away from the first game.
Yeah.
And then, when you bring in all these baddies from the first game's DLCs, where fans of the series will already know what's going to happen, but the newbies who, skipped the first game and only played the core games aren't going to know, it's kind of shitty of the developer.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So you're saying
developer issue.
which that they're like using DLC and stuff that in them trying to add to the game, they're actually taking away from the richness of the first game.
The richness of the core game, I would say.
Okay.
And like I said, it's like I made the example earlier of like the hamburger. It's it's like if you're buying a complete cheeseburger, and then they want you to pay for more meat on it, or something like that.
This is making me think of like the feeling that I had when they came out with Pokemon Beyond the original 151. And I remember and just being like, well, what the fuck? That you're just making things up now.
I mean, at this point, there's literally a Pokemon that's just a pile of trash. So
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
And my least favorite Pokemon of all time, Vanilla Ice, which is just an ice cream cone. I hate it. I hate it so bad.
Vanilla Ice or Vanilla Ice?
Vanilla Ice, I think it's called. I don't
Wait,
fucking know. It's the worst Pokemon ever made. So who the fuck cares?
What's the pile of trash called? Because
Trubbish?
Rubbish?
Trubbish.
Yeah,
T-rubbish.
Trubbish.
What does it evolve into?
Trashel? I don't know. I'm making that up.
Fucking love that so much. I need to look that up right this minute. Oh my god.
I guess I'm gonna ask this question to Ryan, if that's acceptable.
You may proceed.
Which is, Ryan, is there any reason that I need to buy additional content for Doom to get the full storyline? And if so, what is the additional storyline?
So
There you go, Val.
I would say that as far as Doom is concerned, yeah.
Sorry, I'm
So as far as Doom is concerned, the first one, Doom 2016, absolutely not. You don't need any DLC to completely finish the storyline, everything like that. And Doom Eternal, once again, completely self-contained storyline. There is a beginning of the storyline there, and there is an end to a storyline. However, they are releasing DLC that basically continues that storyline now. But it's not necessary to it doesn't end in some weird way.
So this is what I'm going to say in defense of that. Dishonored 1 and Dishonored 2, I don't remember I know what Dishonored 1's release date was.
It
But
was roughly 2012, I think it was. I believe I was still in college.
they came
but it was
out
before.
They came out 4 years apart. Dishonored 1 came out in 2012. The DLC came out a year later, within a year later. So the DLC was just the developers adding on to the game. So when they made... Is Steve okay? When they made when they made Dishonored 2, all they were doing was taking everything that they had already done and then making a game with that. So yes,
And
I understand.
I'm wholeheartedly
Yes, I understand
in
what you're
favor of
saying.
that.
I understand what you're saying with if you've just played the core games, you're not going to understand a lot of the stuff that the DLC added onto it. But the DLC in that instance was made to flesh out the story more because it focuses on the main bad guy, and then the witches one focuses on Delilah and her thing. Like, it just expands the story more. And also, you really can't. I don't think you can really buy Dishonored right now. Like, just buying Dishonored as a pack with the DLC is cheaper than just buying, or the same price as just buying. Like,
Well, that's
the
how
DLC is,
Fallout
like,
3
not.
and New Vegas are at the moment. And when I bought Fallout 4, it was $25 to get 4, or it was $32 to get 4 plus all the DLC. So
Right.
I spent the extra $7 and got everything for a complete package. But again, if I had only gotten 4 or only gotten one of those other games, you're not losing anything, because DLC for the Fallout series, just like with the Elder Scrolls series,
To be
is
honest,
just-
though, the Fallout series does not have as solid or as linear as a storyline as Dishonored does.
it can.
It
does-
can, but no. Dishonored has a specific storyline that has characters, and the DLC adds on to that storyline. It makes the story richer, and it gives you more background of the story. So comparing Fallout, which is, like I said, I gave it the benefit of the doubt for a couple things on my points, that it's a more open game, so it has benefits of character creation and stuff like that. It also lacks of the linear storyline, the story that you're fleshing out, which in Dishonored, the DLC adds on to that story. So when they made the second, they already had story to go on, so they used part of that story. So yes, if you play just a core game, you're not going to get the experience. But that's also like saying if you just watch this one movie and didn't watch the sequels and then tried to pick up at number 4, you're not going to get, story. Yes, it's the same thing. There's things that are added onto it. So if you really want to look at it, Dishonored 2 is more like Dishonored 4, because 2 and 3 were the DLCs as far as the story is concerned.
I mean, I think the better example there would be the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where you can watch
There you
just
go.
the Avengers films, but then, I mean, and it's not the best example, but then like watching Ant-Man explains who he is for whatever.
Exactly.
But no, I'm merely stating a fact where you keep saying linear story. That's fine. That's great. You can play just the main quests in a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls or a Doom game and be fine. What I'm saying is, if you absolutely have to do everything, including the DLC, you're gonna miss out, because like you said, you're a father right now with limited time with a child, so you can't play all those things.
I mean, the DLC doesn't add. I mean, if you're going to play the games, you're going to play the games. Adding the DLC adds a little more time to it, but that's still. If I have time to play Dishonored 2, then I might as well play the DLCs as well. I don't know how the time really comes into that. The DLCs add content. They add story.
Yes, well,
They're
so do
not-
my DLCs. They add content. What I'm saying is that you're adding actual core content that's needed to understand a second game.
It's not needed to play the game. It's needed to understand the lore and maybe have a little better understanding of what's going on. But again, like you said, it's the same thing as the MCU. You don't need it, but it's there if you want to better understand. I don't think it extracts from it at all. I mean, I understand what you're saying, where you need it to understand things, but I think it's a hollow point.
Let's move away from the DLC, because I think that we've kind of talked that in circles. I know where both of you stand on that. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about in terms of like game design or anything like that?
Glitches.
Gli- Yeah.
I feel like it's good if we were ranking. If you want to talk about graphics, I think if we were ranking them, I would say Doom, Dishonored, Fallout.
Yeah.
Just so you know, and I think that's a completely fair assessment. We could
It's the
choose
same
pictures.
engine.
No, it's not. Doom has a better engine.
No. I'm saying Dishonored and Fall are basically the same engine.
Yeah.
They're
But-
Yeah,
equally
but
as old,
I definitely agree with Ryan. Dishonored looks better as far as the graphical.
because you're rendering three rooms as opposed to an entire world.
Yeah, but
But you also get benefits for that entire world.
yeah,
But you can take
Yeah.
this knocking. That's fine. Graphically, Dishonored looks better.
Yeah.
And and has less glitches on launch. But well, I don't know. I don't want to go into the glitch thing again because we've already talked circles around
established
that.
that they fixed everything that was a glitch.
Yeah.
Well, all of the games they fixed everything that was a glitch.
As you just said, if
Yeah.
you're going to buy it today, you're going to buy it as it is currently. There's
right.
no glitches
That's
to
why I
worry
said
about.
I'm not going to go further into the glitches because we've already covered glitches. Every game has glitches. We've already covered that.
Yeah.
I just think the aesthetic, the background, and the I don't know, the feeling of the game is more up Val's alley than the other two. That's I think what I have going for me. That whole Jack the Ripper 1800s London, I don't know, like using rats and teleportation to kill people. I don't know. I feel it's much more spooky-esque like Val than the other two are.
Because I'm a pile of trash like Trubbish.
Is that your favorite Pokemon now, Val?
Do you know how many screenshots I just took of the of Trubbish? Listen, let me just tell you something while we have time. I need to tell you something that I read. It says he evolves into Garbodor, by the way, which is now mine. A massive monstrous Pokemon that appears to have mutated from the toxins within a garbage bag. It has 2 ear-like clusters of garbage protruding from the top of its head, large round eyes, and a gaping fang-filled mouth. There's a filthy grayish-brown garbage-like slime and arm-like appendages, and it has short, stubby feet. So it's basically me.
He's in the Sun and Moon anime and the Sun and Moon version of the Pokemon show. He's one of the main. Sorry, one of the main bad guys has him as a main Pokemon.
His main powers, Garbodor's main powers, are belching poison gases from his mouth and eating garbage, creating new kinds of toxic gases inside his body. That's my favorite thing that's ever happened in any universe of any game ever.
Oh, he also has a so in the newer game in Sword and Shield, there are Gigantamaxes. So it's basically it takes the Pokemon and makes them like huge. He has a Gigamax, which is a bigger version of that, like a more super version of that, and it makes him have like garbage clumps and shit on him.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I need to have a Garbodor shirt or a stuffed animal or something. I need to buy that for myself for my birthday. Oh, that's my Patronus. If I had a Patronus, if I wave my wand, Garbodor comes out of my Patronus. The end. Okay. All right.
Wait. Here you go. There you go, Val.
Oh my god!
It's a Garbodor plushie.
I must have it. This thing's been around since 2011.
Yeah. Sun and Moon, so 6th gen, I think.
I very much.
I think he's a 6th gen.
Very much very much need it.
Gen 5 is when he was introduced.
Oh, I like that so much. All right. Does anybody else have anything? How we time?
We're towards the end. If we can wrap up soon.
Yeah. Does anybody have any final statements?
I just gotta say, how come I'm the only one who keeps shitting on the other games? Y'all
You're
had
because
plenty to
that's-
say about my game.
I shot on your game.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I shot on your game.
Y'all didn't shit on each other's games. I had to do
That's
it.
because I have
I
a
mean-
higher respect for Doom.
I would say that okay, my shitting on Dishonored would be that Doom is just better.
Yeah, but see, that's
That's
John's
not
point.
shitting on it. That's
Yeah,
your own
that's-
opinion.
again, John's point is that we both had like points to bring up of why Fallout sucks.
Okay,
And your
okay.
thing is just like Doom's better.
Okay. So this is my defense for doing
Wait. That's like going into court and saying, yeah, my guy murdered, but that guy murdered better.
Okay, so that's my
Yana, my man is a criminal, but that man is a police officer.
this is my defense for doing that. John had 3 extra people, and
You had Travis, and you could have had anybody else you wanted.
Okay.
I didn't
There was
have
only
Travis. I didn't
2.
have anybody.
And I didn't even
I
know
would
about one of
say-
them until the morning of.
I would
Yeah,
say
I tried to get him on my side, and his answer was, "Well, I've never played Dishonored, so."
Fallout is the bigger game that has the higher reputation and
The bigger following.
the bigger following and everything like that. So it is a lot easier to shit on it because it's a lot easier to shit on a king size bed than a double size bed.
I know
You'd be
that from
surprised how well I can shit, Ryan.
personal experience. I know that to be true.
I
The
didn't know you were
bigger the
Irish.
target, the bigger the target, the easier it is to shit on it. Okay.
That's- Okay.
I'm grabbing so many ringtones from this episode.
I
We
mean,
gotta make
if
that a
you,
Patreon exclusive. We also gotta make a Patreon.
What we need to do is build a page on the website that's just a soundboard.
But we have it.
We have that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
It exists.
okay.
Keep in mind, I shit on Justin all the time for being the webmaster, and I think he appreciates it because I'm actually giving him honest criticism.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that's good. It shows how much
But
I'm
anyway, so Justin, would you like to shit on Doom at the moment since you shit on Fallout so well? You know, it's like the second biggest
Hey,
series
no,
that
I
Bethesda
had-
makes.
To be honest, if you remember, I had a lot of
He
points
shat.
against Doom. Yes, I had
He
points
shat a
against
little
Doom.
Ryan, I asked you the same
He's
question,
smart.
sir.
He didn't full chat. He sharded.
I mean,
Okay.
wouldn't you
okay,
guys rather
this is-
save this argument for, I don't know, the last
Final-
episode for closing statements?
Yeah.
No, because I believe closing statement should be just a restatement of our games to refresh Val's memory before she makes a decision.
I'm thinking
at
my
least
game.
At least that's what I'm planning
I'm
to do with
tell
my
you something.
final moments.
I am gonna spend the next week looking at my notes and rewatching the episodes, and I'm gonna make I think my decision's gonna be pretty much made up by the time I get to next week. But I think for the viewers' sake, listeners' sake, it
No,
should.
the three of us should come up with reasons why not to play Borderlands.
I'm for it.
I mean, I
I'll
bet you
have-
guys
it's a
will have
boring
a
piece
lot.
of shit.
Hey, Val, everything I've said about these other 2 games is Borderlands plus Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah, which is why Borderlands is such a better game. Because it has all of their games.
Listen,
one
not for
game.
nothing. The initial advertising slogan for Borderlands 2 was it's like Skyrim with guns.
Yeah, that's
Fallout.
true.
Yeah.
All right, you know
Yeah.
what? I've
Logan?
talked enough about Borderlands. He's getting a whole half episode or something.
We've
No more
already established he's
Borderlands.
getting at least 20 minutes to
Yeah.
shoot his shot.
He gets
too.
20 minutes, and I'm gonna literally have a timer. He gets 20 minutes to talk about Borderlands.
Wait. How come I have 20 minutes?
Because
Okay,
you're not-
you
you're
wanna
not
know why you have
entire
20 minutes?
episode.
You want to know why you have 20 minutes, Steve?
Game.
Because you've been talking about Borderlands since we fucking started. That's why you've been talking about Borderlands for 2 fucking years. That's why you have 20 minutes.
Dude, spicy.
I think my recommendation for this episode in the next 16 episodes is going to be Borderlands 3 or
Dude.
2 or Tiny Tina. or
Anybody who
this.
wants to hear your Borderlands arguments just has to listen to all 62 of our episodes.
Dude, Spicy Justin is my favorite Justin.
I actually have to tell you this because I know he's listening. An amazing gentleman who Val and I both know, I would say intimately, but that is very unprofessional of me, has stated that all of us stay pretty much the same, but there's like a new Justin character like every week.
Dude, I love Spicy Justin. This week's Spicy Justin. I like it.
Ryan, would you like to continue shitting on Dishonored real quick before we cut to the...
All right. I have not played Dishonored, so I don't really have too much of a basis.
It's all the only argument I needed. Ryan hasn't played it.
The reason I haven't played it was basically because I never found an interest in the story to pull me in enough.
Bad story.
And
part
every
2.
time I was about to start playing Dishonored, I just played Thief instead. Or
If I could argue Thief here, I would have argued Thief here.
But I would
just
argue
I
Thief
gotta
too.
say, and this is a perfect segue out of this and into everything else, for the amount that you guys shit on the graphics of Fallout, Thief goes back to 2000 and you want to play that again. So
Yes, but
graphics don't matter.
That's because Thief was made. If I could increase the graphics of Thief, I would. And if you want to look at how good the graphics of Thief could be, look at the most current Thief, because those graphics are up there with Doom. So they're up there with they're as far as if you're ranking them of these games, they're up there with Doom.
Okay, kind of. Like, if you're playing it on, like, high-end PC settings, it is. But, you know, I'll have to replay that one again, the new Thief. It was decent. It wasn't as good as the old Thieves, but it was decent.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good to go? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So does anybody have anything else to say before we adjourn for the day?
I'm good.
Going once, going twice.
I'm good.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Court is adjourned for the day. Until next week for our final statements. All right. What time is it now?
9:51.
Yo, guys, it's time for the recommendations. Yo, recommendations.
That's not how it goes at all.
I made it up. It's new
Ladies and
ringtone.
gentlemen, it is recommendation time.
Gotta have the porno music behind it.
I mean, Justin's gonna take what I just said, put like some smooth jazz behind it, and then next thing you know, it's gonna be called. I don't have a good name yet. I'll think of one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add yours. I'm just gonna make some kind of weird mashup between yours and Travis's.
It's gonna be like yo guys, it's recommendation time.
I like it. There we go. So who wants to start off?
I'll start.
I didn't mean to take the hosting away.
I'll start off because I have the same one as last week because I really want to push this on everybody that I can. So my recommendation this week again is for you guys to go out and rent Slutcracker the movie. So for those of you who weren't tuning in last week, I recommended the Slutcracker. So every year for the last 12 years, the Boston performance community and mainly a really awesome performer called Sugar Dish has put on this incredible retelling of the Nutcracker, but it's like super amazingly interpreted with burlesque dance. There's a little bit of like light shibari, pole dancing, dirty jokes, lots of amazing, beautiful bodies doing amazing, beautiful dance, but also like actual ballet and acrobatics, and there's all sorts of beautiful things, and it's also like super raunchy and super silly. And so John Waters actually came to see it once and called it a great hymn to Christmas and sexuality. If you guys know who John Waters is, he's an amazing movie director who did things like Pink Flamingos, Hairspray. He's just like a really fucking weird director who's also an awesome weirdo. But so the Slutcracker obviously has been going on at the Somerville Theater for 12 years, but this year, we're unable to do it. I did the makeup for it, or helped do the makeup for it last year, and it was one of the most incredible experiences to be a part of. So this year, what you can do instead of going to see it, you can rent the movie, and the movie is last year's performance that was taped, really well done. So you actually get to see my makeup. What I did last year, you can see it this year, and you can see all of the amazing performances of the performers last year. So what you do is go to the slutcracker.com, TheSlutcracker.com, and you can watch the trailer and you can rent the movie right from there. And it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth the money. And it's hilarious. And I guarantee that you'll like it. And so hopefully next year, we'll be able to come back and do another live performance. But until then, definitely rent that movie. Make it part of your holiday traditions like I do. So yeah, Slutcracker the movie, theslutcracker.com. That's it.
Sounds like fun.
Cool.
Oh, it's funny. There's a 12-foot peppermint dick,
It's true, there is.
and it shoots snow. So that's all you gotta know. Who wants to go next?
Can I do a counter, a non-recommendation, a warn?
Ooh, I also
We've
have an
never had one of those.
anti-recommendation.
Yeah, do an anti-recommendation. I like it.
Okay.
Right?
Wait, hey Ryan, let me segue you in. Because I have a recommendation with an anti-recommendation.
Oh, I like
Okay.
this.
So my recommendation is this awesome indie game called Phantom Brigade, which is it's an RTS mech game where you plan 5 seconds at a time on a battlefield. It's so cool. You have to worry about things like overheating your mechs and things like that. The storyline to it so far, it just hit early access, is like you're reclaiming your homeland. But the problem is, and here's where the anti-recommendation comes in, it's only on Epic Game Store.
Oh.
See? Nobody likes the Epic Game Store. The Epic Game Store is like one of the worst things to happen ever. And it's exclusive on the Epic Game Store for the next at least a year. So as much as I love this game and as I loved meeting the developers at PAX East this year, I'm not going to be playing it until it's on something else because Epic Game Store sucks balls.
There
That's
was
how,
one point. There was one point. Epic Game Store was fucking crashing my computer.
Yeah.
Whenever I launched the game on it, it fucking sucks. It
The
doesn't do
problem
it
is
anymore.
it's
but
such a good concept because
Yeah.
it helps indie developers and it gives them a bigger cut, but it's such a shitty system that I don't want to use it.
Yeah.
So anytime that it's like, check out this game, it's Epic Store exclusive, I'm like, well, I guess I'll never play this game. So
right.
that's my recommendation. Phantom Brigade, anti-recommendation, Epic Game Store. I'm going to drink this whiskey.
Since I already have to use Epic Game Store for at least one game, I'll
What
try
game?
it out for you. What the fuck was I playing?
Don't worry about it. Just tell me about your recommendation.
Yeah. All right. So my anti-recommendation this week, I think maybe Justin knows what it's about to be. Are you ready? Ready Player 2? Oh God, I
yeah.
hope not. I hope you're not ready for Ready Player 2. If you read or watched the first movie,
Yeah, that was really good.
Ready Player 1, you liked Ready Player 1?
Yeah.
Okay. So imagine that, but basically the second book in the series was, in a lot of ways you could tell, basically written by committee. It makes no goddamn sense. The character is basically a douchebag the whole entire way. Like, there's no learning from the first book. It's basically like, so the first story of Ready Player 1 was a story about a very poor kid who overcame adversity.
It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in a video game.
It's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Uh-huh.
So the problem with the second book is that you had to start with Charlie just got his wish and owns the chocolate factory and is the richest kid in the world. Now what's the problem? Oh, you just have to make up a new thing. And it basically just turns out to be basically what it feels like is that Steven Spielberg came and was like, okay, so I made your first movie for you, right? And Ernest Cline was like, yeah. And Steven Spielberg was like, well, you got to write a second book. And that's the only way to make money. It's the only way. Maybe I'll make your second movie. But I'll tell you what, let's do all this stuff. And basically Ernest Cline had like a script shoved at him for the second book. And he just had to like go, I guess I'll write my characters into this and write my weird, stupid references into it. And it's the dumbest book. And it seems like Ernest Cline is fighting against his own storyline the whole entire time. Because do you know the series Sword Art Online?
Yes.
Hey Ryan, let's keep this to one thing. Let's keep this
Okay.
to recommendation. We already make this
Okay.
whole bit like 25 minutes long. So
I don't recommend this book. It will not only, I think, if you're a big fan of Ready Player One, read it, but understand that you're probably going to hate it.
The first 3 reviews on I googled Ready Player 2, it says an AI could write a better book. Ready Player copy of a copy, and Ready Player 2 attempts but fails to reach the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. Even where the whole Ready Player 2 like wink wink title sequence, because there is literally a wink wink title sequence in the book of like it comes up when you enter the Oasis with this new special headset on. It comes up Ready Player 2. And it's like, it literally makes no goddamn sense that it says Ready Player 2 when you start playing as a singular player ever in any video game. It's just a
Fine.
wink wink title sequence.
Okay, so we're not gonna watch.
It's terrible. It's
nobody-
terrible. Yeah. Just no.
Who's next?
I can go next. Yeah. So I have two things, as usual, a video game and a show. So my first one is going to be my show, and my show is this little show right here that I just started watching. It's called Schitt's Creek. I had been recommended this show a bunch of times, and I just kept on like putting it on my watch list and not watching it, which I regret now because it's hilarious. So the premise of the show is that there's this rich family. The father is played by the father from American Pie. And he became rich by himself by owning, I think it's a video store. And he made a video store chain. They got very, 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 very rich. And then the guy who was handling their money had not paid taxes for years and years. So the IRS came and took away all of their shit, like froze all of their assets, basically making them poor. And the only thing that they allowed them to keep was he had bought this town called Schitt's Creek to make fun of his son, basically saying like, you're up Schitt's Creek. And he bought this town as a joke. And because he owned the town, they can live in the motel for basically free. So it's these rich people that are forced to move to this hick town. It never tells you where it is, but I'm assuming basically from the feel of the show, it's like rural Virginia, basically, that they're in, because it's just like hicks and rednecks and shit. And the premise is hilarious because it's really good characters. They really play off of each other really well. It's a really funny show. Go and watch it.
The actors are incredible. So it's written by Dan Levy, who is Eugene Levy, the actor's son. The actors are amazing. The casting was amazing. If you guys, I mean, people know Dan Levy from a lot of different things. Catherine O'Hara is in it. Catherine O'Hara is my favorite part of that show.
No, Stevie is my favorite character on that show. Stevie is fucking hilarious.
Did you guys see my Halloween? I don't know. So I went as Moira Rose, which is Catherine O'Hara's character in Schitt's Creek for. And I went with me and two of my best friends went as different incarnations of Moira Rose. Hilarious. I second that. Schitt's Creek is incredible. Don't sleep on it for sure.
Yeah, no, it's a very good show. It's very funny. Highly recommend it. And my video game that I picked up when it was on sale on Switch, and it plays pretty decently on Switch, is Sniper Elite 4. I had never played a sniper game before, a Sniper Elite game before. It's very much, it's kind of like Thief,
Call of Duty
Dishonored.
with a sniper rifle.
It's Call of Duty with stealth elements thrown in. I don't know. The sniping in the game is probably the best sniping mechanics I've ever played in a game. It's just the way they handle distance, the way they handle like the aiming reticle, like it's just very good. Sniper Elite 4, it's on Switch. It's not on sale anymore, I don't think, but and I am going to recommend, even though I haven't played it yet, Immortal Phoenix Rising, because it looks fucking amazing, and I will be grabbing it when it comes out on Thursday. So. And I'll let you know next Tuesday how I feel about that game, which I'm assuming is going to be very positive because there's a lot of people who have gotten early access and I've watched videos, and the only downside they have is that early access, the graphics and stuff were not performing very well, but the gaming studio very quickly let out a patch that improved that. So yeah, but yeah, those are my recommendations. I think Steve's the only one left, right?
Yes, I am. So I realized I've been doing this trio's recommendations all wrong. What I should have been doing the entire time was recommending
Better say Elliot
Borderlands.
Page.
Oh God!
So,
Is that what you got up to get? Is that literally
Yes.
why you muted yourself and walked away?
no, I was actually choking. So,
Okay. On Borderlands?
On
On the
Borderlands
giant
Borderlands.
On the
dick?
Borderlands,
So-
Giant
dirt.
Borderlands dick?
Borderlands
so
dirt.
this is inside of the original Borderlands Game of the Year.
Steve, we can't hear you. We
You
can't hear
muted
you,
yourself,
Steve.
bruh.
You muted yourself.
Oh, damn. I've never heard him talk about Borderlands, or maybe once.
You've heard him at least a couple of times.
That's fine.
So that's fine because the more hate you give me, the more reason why I'm not going to just talk for 20 minutes. So that's on you guys. And if you just keep muting me, oh well.
Go ahead.
But-
Tell me Borderlands.
But I'm actually going to say my recommendation for this week is going to be Claptrap's new robot Revolution. It's part of the first Borderlands series DLC. It comes after the fact. You don't have to play it. It doesn't really matter to the story. It just shows what happens when Claptrap gets a little AI bug in him and he turns evil. And you have to go around completing missions to defeat him and his army of Claptraps. So at the end of it, there's a big vault area where you just collect guns, and it's really entertaining. But when you destroy him, he's in a giant Claptrap machine, and you have to destroy it to fight another Claptrap, which is smaller, which is a lot easier. But the whole premise of Claptrap becoming evil is because you just want to kick the shit out of him throughout the entire game, and you finally get to do it. So I am recommending Claptrap's new robot revolution. So it's for Borderlands.
Party time. All right, y'all. You ready for me to do my thing?
Yeah.
Do your
Go
thing.
ahead.
Let me get buzzed first.
All right. What did you say, John?
I said, let me get buzzed first.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead. Cheers.
Are you a bee now?
All right. Okay. Thank you for listening or watching us. Want to listen to us again? What? No. What? What? Did you?
What?
Are you?
No, I'm laughing at Steve's name. Sorry.
Why is he raising his hand? Oh. All right. Hold on. Take two. Thank you for listening or watching us. If you want to listen to us again or catch up on any of our other episodes, you can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, YouTube, and a handful of other podcast platforms. If you can't find us on your favorite podcast platform, please let us know so Justin can work on getting us there. Our tag you can use to find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and more is 3EP Podcast. Our website is 3eppodcast.com. Please come check it out and visit our host page to learn a little about us. Our social media page to see our most recent posts, or our recommendation page to hear a few more of the team's recommendations. I can read. We live stream our episode almost every Tuesday around 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, so follow us there. Please give us a like and most definitely comment so we know what you're thinking about what we're doing, or let us know if you have any questions for us. I'm adding in start chatting in the chat. Start chatting in the chat. I want some more sweet chat meat. Nobody's chatting. I want some. Okay, Bailiff Steve, if they're listening to us on SoundCloud or any of our other platforms, what do they do, sir?
Like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. Tell us what you like. Keep on a lookout for people walking into doors.
Wait, Val, you have to say his full name.
Yeah, okay. Thank you from Stevie the Borderlands whore.
You're welcome, honey.
He is a Borderlands slut.
Borderland. All right. Please also remember to check out our network at giveusashot.network, where you can find our sister podcast, which I still don't know what the hell that is,
It's all of our other podcast buddies.
as well as our t-shirts and other merch. Booyakasha. I don't know anything about that. Thank you. Oh, I like that. I don't know what our sister podcast is. Is it all
No,
girls?
it's sister. We're part of no sister. Like we're part of a podcast network, so it's the other podcast in that network. Like your sister city is the city that you are part of, like you're friends with, I guess, or whatever. I don't know. It's not sister like female. It's sister like
picturing it like a bunch of girls talking about like makeup and hair, and then like one dude who had no idea what was going on the whole time. Or
No,
opposite. Yes.
no, that's not what it is.
That's what it is. Ed.
No,
I
here.
just tell you, I'm watching myself cheers myself on YouTube right now, and it's wonderful.
Oh, John, I'm so glad that you
I
can.
have no friends.
For anybody watching, this is our network, and these are our sister podcasts. See,
Stuff
here we are
about
right here.
sports, wonderful time. I give them shit every single week.
Yep. Pain
Literally
Train,
during
Pipe
this
Bomb,
podcast.
The Divide, Push the Agenda, and Mike and Steve.
Pain Train Pipe Bomb sounds like a porn website.
I'm gonna make no comments, but they are very fun.
Yes. Okay, so everyone say goodnight, and we are gonna wrap up. And I have to go put heat on my back because it isn't a lot of fun.
Oh, Dad's got a bad back.
Wait,
You little
wait,
bitch.
wait!
Corvo
I can
wouldn't
do
take-
this. Wait, I can do this. Good night, and we're gonna wrap up. And I gotta go put heat on my back because it feels like shit. Did I do it right?
What?
That's what you said to
I don't
say.
get it at all.
Good night,
Quiet, you.
I love you.